Have you ever seen a train go by with containers, logs, and wood and metal and steel beams? Have you ever wondered about that train and the railroad itself and all it's changed and how the world has changed directly and indirectly from it? Well, Pittsburgh fits the definition of it perfectly. It has aspects of both the direct and indirect effect of trains. From the 1700s to 1834, there was only one means of travel to Pittsburgh, and that was a treacherous path from Philadelphia. One would have to embark on a Conestoga wagon for a 23-day journey, and that was if the dirt roads were in a good condition. Because of the danger and likely poor conditions, injury and death often occurred, and the lack of desire to even consider going to Pittsburgh because of the small amount of steel and cast iron they made. But there was a silver lining for Pittsburgh. In 1834, the construction of the Portage Railroad was completed. This cut down the journey by a total of 19 days. It would now take 4 days to get from Pittsburgh to Philadelphia. People from Philadelphia now moved to Pittsburgh to find jobs, make a family, and own a home. Pittsburgh capitalized on this newfound opportunity and started to promote immigration to Pittsburgh. When people got word of Pittsburgh's now open doors and mill jobs with availability, most Germans came because almost all of them had worked in a mill before. Because the Germans had such quickly filled up all the availability space for residents, they now had to go from inside the valley to on and over it, where Pittsburgh was located. This leads to long and aggravating commute for the majority, until Germans had a proposition. Their suggestion was the incline. An incline is a type of train that goes up and down at around a 45 to 70 degree angle. The incline is moved up and down by a chain that is connected to motors, one at the top and one at the bottom. The incline was revolutionary. It made the path that steelworkers had to go up and down non-existent. One used to have to take a treacherous road that took 30 to 40 minutes. Now it was just 5 minutes. In 700 to 1200, there was a process used by a steel mill to make swords. But that wasn't very good for large steel production for Pittsburgh. So, patented in 1856 by Sir Henry Bessemer, the Bessemer process was invented. It was the first inexpensive industrial method for mass-producing steel from molten pig iron. You do it by blowing air through molten pig iron to oxidize and remove impurities like silicone, carbon, manganese, significantly reducing production time from days to minutes. Part of the reason why this form of steel production was so good for Pittsburgh was because of the geography. If you look at the mountains, you will see a high amount of coal and you'll see a high amount of water. Both of those are important for making steel. The Portage Railroad also helps them internationally transport the steel. Steel is better than cast iron because it lasts longer, and you can make it stainless. It is much more aesthetically pleasing than cast iron. Because Pittsburgh grew at such an exponential rate, that means steel production grew at the same rate, which means that steel became cheaper, which may seem good until you realize it will make steel producers go out of business. Pittsburgh produced a lot of steel and sent it straight to factories to make planes and weapons of war, which made the Axis side lose World War II. It fully revolutionized some industries like construction, because now you can make buildings taller and stronger, Another industry that is also changing is the design industry, as they all have forever shiny metal at their disposal. Now, what were the effects of all this? After World War II, after the population surges, what happened to our beloved and revolutionary city of Pittsburgh? Well, we slowed down steel production and closed a lot of steel mills because China and Japan started to produce a lot more steel in the 1970s to the 1980s. Both of them could outdo Pittsburgh in being efficient when gathering resources for the steel and transporting it out. Even though this may appear to be a downfall of Pittsburgh from the exuberant, significant, and highly coveted city to an insignificant meter steelmaking city, may be one way to end the story, but that's just not true. Pittsburgh hasn't become useless. Trains do a lot. They pass through Pittsburgh, they provide transportation, and it's a very popular place to go. This shows how trains affected and revolutionized steel production in Pittsburgh.